Nu är klockan några minuter över 1:30, så då kör vi igång dagens webbinar. Hjärtligt välkomna allihopa. Vi kommer att spela in detta webbinar och lägga upp det på vår hemsida och på vår YouTube-kanal också. Så där kan ni ta och titta på det i efterhand. Och era kollegor på era respektive filmer också givetvis. Självklart lägger vi även upp de presentationer som ni kommer att se. Och de finns då under genomförda utbildningar under SoliTek Academy på vår hemsida, SoliGrossistens hemsida. Har ni frågor under webbinariets gång så är det lättare att ni ställer dem i chatten. Och så tar jag och läser upp dem då för Andreas och Helge under presentationens gång. Sen tar vi självklart en liten frågestund i slutet på webbinariet också. Så hjärtligt välkomna då till denna webbinar om BIPV, Building Integrated PV, takintegrerat på svenska. We have with us today Andreas from SoliTek, the panel maker from Lithuania. One of the greenest panels you will find on this earth. They're factory certified for just running on a renewable energy, and they have all kinds of environmental certificates. This is actually the panel that we've been selling for the longest at SoliGrossisten, and that is because we've been very, very pleased with it. Another product that we've been selling for a long time is the Solrif system with SoliTek panels. The special frame made by Schweitzer, but the frame name is Solrif, and that's something that is applied at the factory in Lithuania. But I'm not going to talk more about that now, because I will leave the word over to Andreas that will start this presentation, and later on Helge from Schweitzer will continue. So now I am making you the presenter, Andreas. So you have muted your microphone. And now
yep.
Yep, excellent.
Yes. So hello everyone. Yeah, thanks Michael for organizing and a short introduction. Helge is here with us, so we will try to deliver some valuable information to you. As always, I will do my best to be compact and clear. Just let's check if you see my presentation. Michael, can you comment?
Yes, we do. We see your presentation.
Okay, that is perfect. So yeah, so we will speak about Solrif. Yeah, Michael already mentioned that SoliTek is one of the greenest panels in Europe. Actually, they are black, full black normally, but okay, we let them be green as well. So yeah, we know like in-roof system is a big part of a market for many years. So we do that together with SoliGrossisten in Sweden. We deliver quite a few systems. I think one of the first biggest systems we did in 2017. So we have a good experience ourselves as a panel producer, also in cooperation with Schweitzer. And SoliGrossisten are pretty good experienced in projects, how to plan it, how to deliver. So we provide support in different ways. So, but let's speak about it during this short presentation. Yeah. So Solrif system is based on the standard panels. So here is the plan, what we will speak about, how to apply and where to apply the Solrif system during the planning or before offering to the customer. So the main idea is that we take the panel, what we produce at SoliTek, And there is a frame produced by Schweitzer, so our long-term partner. We are cooperating things for 7 years already now. So we are verified producer. Helge can confirm that. I have seen you at our factory 3 weeks ago. So Schweitzer is always following up our procedures, so we do everything right in the proper way. So Schweitzer is providing the frame, what we put on top of the panel that we produce, and then we combine it with all the supplementary parts, what are needed for the installation, and deliver to you, to the customer, or to our distributor. So this is how it goes. The main benefit, I would say, of Schweitzer system is that it's not developed for, like it's not a solar company. Like it's a company that is professional in the metal processing, different type of solutions from mailboxes to facade systems, windows, doors, and also solar is, as far as I know, is one of the biggest divisions now what they have. Yeah, so this system is pretty much developed. As you see, it's being delivered in Europe since 1999, so 23 years now. So here in presentation we have that about 700 megawatts installed, but now, as far as I know, it's more than 1 gigawatt already all over the Europe. So I would say it's one of the most the oldest and most developed and safest system, because it started in Switzerland and Germany, Austria, where the weather conditions are pretty much the same as we have in Scandinavia, with high snow loads and what we need to handle. So what we like the most, that no issues over the lifetime. For now, for the systems what we have delivered, we don't hear anything. This is how it should be. It's a roof. You put it there and you forget about it if you do everything properly. Yeah, so as I mentioned already, more than 1 gigawatt I have managed to correct here in the presentation already. More than 1 gigawatt installed. Yeah, so very high quality metal is used with the 10-year warranty for the whole system. It's certified in Germany. Yeah, it has a TÜV certificate, like for the European market. So what system consists of? So there are 4 main components. Sorry, we go back. Yeah, so it's a module itself, what SoliTek is producing. Then we have a Solrif frame that it's attached to the panel at the factory. So this is how we get module into the roof tile. And then we have mounting clamps that are necessary for each and every project. Side profiles also, and flashings. Flashings is an optional component for the partial integration. Yeah, so at this picture you see a view or how the system is built up. You see the roofers working. You have the wooden battens, what you normally do for the tiles or for any other type of roof coating. Yeah, and panels are put directly on the wooden substructure. No additional elements here are needed. So these are the main components of the system. So as I said, system is pretty much developed and easy. What we mean by saying that there are only 2 types of clamps supporting the panel: screws and side profiles. That's it. That's mainly all the components that you need for the system. If you do the full roof integration or carport or terrace roof. So as you see, number of components is not as big. Of course, there are some more supplementary components we will speak now later about. So yeah, as already mentioned, you don't need to attach any plastic or whatever attachments on the roof. Yeah, it's built directly on the wooden substructure. So if you have existing roof that you need to renovate, the only thing you need to do is to check the loads, the mechanical loads. Will it hold the panels? But you need to do it anyway. If you install the solar, you need to be sure that it will stand the mechanical load, and you need to put the battens for the needed distance. So we provide drawings and everything for that. So planning is pretty much straightforward. You don't need to do system design each and every time. Knowing the roof dimensions, you can do the estimation. So before the installation, we have mounting manuals. For now, they are in English and German, like fully detailed mounting manual of all the steps, how to do it. This is how you prepare before the installations, how you deal with the windows, chimneys, the other pipes, what type of structure you should use with the different inclinations of the roof. Also documentation for the high snow load areas. Here you see some extracts from the mounting manual, but it's a pretty long document. I don't remember, but probably about 80 pages. No one is reading that, and you don't need that normally if you are an experienced roofer. So it's enough to do proper planning and to follow the drawings to build the right system. Yeah, so there are some examples what I was mentioning. Basically, here are all the options in this picture, what is possible to do. On the left side, you see a house with the old stone tiles. It's in Norway, 100 years old house, something like that, and panels are partially integrated in the system. So this is the most usual way when you renovate house or when you want to put solar, not on top, but instead of tiles, instead of a roofing material. This is one way of planning the system, and you see the panels look pretty good. So like a plain glass elements, you don't see cells or whatever it is from the ground. So in the middle section, you see the carport. So it's also the Solrif system. Look from below. It's a standard panel what we deliver with 10% transparency. So you see there are no mounting elements when you stand beneath the system. You don't see any hooks, clamps, whatever it is. So it's like very nice, clean design. The only thing that you need to cover is the other cables, the cables and junction boxes. And here you see the cable tray, metal cable tray in the middle. Normally you put it on the sides, but here they decided to do it like that. So on the right side, also you see the system with the dummies. It's also possible, so we deliver it on the as a regular product dummy panel, what you cut on site depending on the dimensions what you need to install. So it's done during the installation, and also you can do the shifted row design, as you can see here. So the rows, the panels should not be aligned evenly one beneath other. So rows can be shifted to match the best roof dimensions, and also efficiency of the system. Yeah, so here is another example also how the system looks like. It's possible to replace any part of the system if the panel is not operating due to some reasons or is broken, something happens. Of course, it can be. Big benefit is that you can remove any panel from any part of a system. I would not say that it's easy because, of course, they have pretty significant weight and low rows are overlapping. So next row is like pressing down the row that is below, but panel can be pushed out of the clamps and taken out with a certain effort and be replaced when it's needed. So Solrif is a ventilated in-roof system. As you see, there are no also specific requirements for the ventilation. So you need to get the ventilation gap as for any normal roofing material. For the tiles or for the metal sheets, up to 10 centimeter ventilation gap is enough. So you must ensure the airflow from below and going from the top, and that is enough. That is enough for the panels. Yeah, a little bit about the panels, what we deliver. So now recently we had a few updates. So we deliver both 355 and 365 transparent and full black panels for the Solrif system. So transparent you use for carport, terrace, and the other application when you need transparency. Full black you put on the regular roof, so that you don't have to use UV resistant membrane or this underlayer. So 355 is a 3+3 millimeter glass, 365 is 2+2 millimeter glass. And for 3+3 millimeter glass, we are now just finishing the certification, and those panels will be able to stand 9,000 Pascal mechanical load. So we suggest to use it for high snow load areas, for real durability for a long time. For all the other applications, if the snow load is not that high, you can use 365 panel with higher power, but 2+2 millimeter glass, so 5,400 Pascal. And of course, all panels are Fire Class A certified and with a self-cleaning effect, thus salt, mist, and ammonia resistant certified as well. And cradle-to-cradle certification, we were speaking in the previous webinar already. I think I will not stop a lot on that, but we have a cradle-to-cradle certification for our glass panels. You can check later on the web page, and we can share with Michael more information. Just one update that in June we plan to go for golden score with a cradle-to-cradle. And in terms of that, we are working to reduce number of dangerous materials used in the panel. So in general, it's a complex evaluation, not only for the product, but for the company itself and our whole supply chain. So with a cradle-to-cradle certification body, we are sharing all our suppliers, and they are being verified for 5 parameters, including the social aspect, like labor conditions, salaries, taxes, and transparency in all the steps. Yeah, so Solrif system is rainproof. Yeah, if we do it more than 12 degrees on the roof slopes. We have experience with the customers who did it with the 10 degrees or 8 degrees for the carports. We know that there are some water leakages possible then, so we suggest to plan it starting from 12 degrees if it's on your house, to be on the safe side. Like if you want to do it with a less inclination, yeah, there is some risk of water leakages, which is specified in the warranty documentation. So then you have to take it on your own risk. But yeah, usually we suggest not to go for that. Yeah. So how the project is going and how usually we deal with that, just to indicate shortly in a few steps. When you speak to the customer, what do you need to estimate? Like in order to deliver the preliminary budget for the system, you need the address, measurements of the roof. So dimensions, roof angle, information about chimneys and other obstacles, maybe some trees that are around. to consider, and then based on that you can estimate already number of panel and the budget for the customer. Usually this is how we suggest to do it, because the budget per panel will be more or less the same for all the systems, so that will not change dramatically. So you don't have to design the system to make drawings or whatever it is each and every time. So from the dimensions, it's easy to say, okay, you will have 12 panels. This is the budget, and if customer is okay with that, then we can proceed, or you can proceed with the detailed calculation. That is step number 4. Do the exact bill of materials with all the spare parts, detailed project report with the calculations, measurements, and the document that you can use for the installation. Then when the final offer is confirmed, you can proceed with the order, and then the system is delivered afterwards, confirmed on our side and delivered to the customer. So what type of support we provide together with SoliTek system? Yeah, we can do the detailed reporting with the bill of materials and drawings. We can consult you as an installer, yeah, how to do this or that element better. We can also provide on-site assistance with our engineers, or there are some companies in Sweden who we are hiring and like paying for them or asking them to come and help you with the first project to make it fast and easy, not to take too much time for the first project. Yeah, the only not complications, the only specific thing about Solrif is when you have higher snow and higher wind loads. So then the design can be adapted a little bit. You will need to use more clamps, but this is the only thing that will be different normally. And yeah, and then of course about the assistance, we've been already mentioning that. Yeah, so here I would like to show you the video. You can see that, yeah?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Then we go for that. So yeah, we put the wooden battens on the roof. This is this aluminium Magaflex tape, self-adhesive mounting clamps. Yeah, there is a special tool to measure the distance for the clamps. So the only thing you need to measure precisely is the right where to start on the right side, and then from that point you go with the mounting tool. As you see, there are 2 hooks on the edges supporting the panel, and there are up to 5 hooks in the middle supporting the glass. So 2 hooks on the edges will be in any case. Then in the middle it will depend on the snow load, how many hooks you will have to place. So here are three hooks what we put. Yeah. So yeah, this is that sealing tape on the bottom is a protector from the mosquitoes. So on the right side you see flashing profiles and the panel profile, and then you put the panels inside the hooks. So as you see, panels are not fixed to the roof, not fixed to the wood. That means if the wood is being deformed, wood structure, the PV system will not break, it will not crack, you know, it will perform in the same way as it is installed. And there is a safety gap in the connection of each panel of 5 millimeters with the drainage holes that allows system to expand a little bit for a heat expansion and different kind of deformations. So you can build as long system as you wish, like 2 panels or 100 panels in one row is possible. So then you go with the next row same way as you did with the first one. Yeah, you put the hooks and you drop in the panels. So we estimate, I know that Schweitzer has a bit different figures, but we estimate about 6 minutes per panel for the installation, which is realistic. So we were measuring it on site. I was there myself, taking the time with the first installation for the guys. So with no experience. So it's pretty much straightforward, and so about 60 panels a day is realistic to install. Yeah. So now system is finished. Here you have the flashings. So the flashings are the attachments for the tiles, yeah, that you can use. So these are standard elements of the system. You can buy them from us, or you can ask your roofer to do these elements individually for the project, if there is not enough distance for standardized elements. Yeah, now these are the fixations, yeah, that go on the edges. It's a part of a system what we deliver also, and then you cover it with the tiles. Yeah, looks pretty much pretty easy, I would say, and it is in real life as well. So no, there are no additional like complications. So one thing what I want to mention with the old roofs, if they are like not even, you know, a bit deformed, it's okay. So the roof has not needed to be very, you know, very precisely built and straightforward. So just the buttons should be at the right distance. So here are some examples of the systems what being installed. As you see, normally we recommend, if you want to do it efficiently and fast, a square design or few areas like it is on the picture on the right, like 4 panels in one place and 20 panels on the right and 4 panels on the left. You know, not too complicated with too many attachments and flashings. So this is the straightforward design. But if you want to make it like beautiful and certain demand from the customer, of course, it's possible to cover the whole roof with the solar, as you see on the picture in the middle. So some more examples from Sweden and from Switzerland as well, from the jobs what we completed recently. Yeah, even more. Okay, good to see. Yeah, so that project in Norway we have seen already on the previous pictures. Yeah, again, some private house with the Solrif in Sweden. Yeah, you see the view from the ground, looks pretty much organic. And on the right side, it's some garage in Finland in the stage of construction. So now it's finished, and they just need to cover with the roofing elements. Yeah. So from my side, that's it. Welcome to ask questions. I don't know how Michael pointed it out. Do we have questions now, or you can write it in the chat, or after the Helge's part?
Right now, there are no questions because it was such a good presentation and very clear and precise, obviously. So no questions right now. So thank you very much, Andres. Okay, one question popped up here.
Yep.
As with regular panels, you cannot walk on them?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah. So for the Solrif system, we don't use regular panels. I mean, normal panels with a plastic backsheet. It's only glass panels. So with the with a 3+3 millimeter panel, you can I suppose you will never walk on panel when you are on the roof, especially when it's a steep roof. But yeah, with the 3+3 millimeter panels, you can rely on them, you know, and you can step on them. Yeah, you can use them, and this is what our installers who have the experience are saying, that, you know, this is the benefit, because like we can step on the panels when we install them during mounting, and if there is some service needed, also like you can rely on the panels as well. Yeah, but for that's why we don't use standard plastic backsheet modules on the Solrif system, because yeah, otherwise it would not be possible at all to put any pressure, because they will crack so easy. We know. Yeah, hello.
Yeah. So, any more questions at this stage? No. So, thank you very much, Andres. Very, very good. I'll have to excuse myself a little bit if there's some background noise where I'm at. I'm actually at a Solelmässan in Gothenburg today, so hence there's some background noise sometimes. I apologize for that. If you don't hear me, let me know and I'll repeat what I'm saying. But without any further ado, I will turn the presentation over to Helge Hartwig from Schweitzer. Go ahead, Helge. You're still muted.
Okay, so I'm not muted anymore. Thank you very much, Andres, for your presentation. And I will focus on a few topics. First, I will give a little bit more details about the company, very briefly. Then some remarks on the mounting. As we learned, the mounting is really easy. And the only thing that you might face on the roof is connecting to other obstacles or tiles or something. I will give some remarks on that. And then basically I will focus on the software, the design software, because for you as installers, as I assume, it is very important to get a report about the installation of the Solrif system and to follow the report, because this is also the document for any questions dealing with warranty. And basically it's a very long report, but one page is very important, where you can see how exactly to install and how many fixations to use. So my name is Helge Hartwig. I'm with the company for 17 years now, and always focusing on the Solrif system. Solrif means solar roof integration frame, so maybe that helps also to remember the frame, the name. A few words to the company. The company is not a very small one. It's about 450 employees and founded in 1920, so more than 100 years of tradition. And as Andres pointed out, we are not only doing solar systems, solar PV mounting systems, but also building shells. So really business facades with a lot of windows, sliding doors, and things like that. We're also doing letterboxes in different ways, and we have a 30% share of letterboxes in Switzerland, so quite known there. And then the third business unit here is the PV mounting systems. We also started in the 70s to manufacture solar thermal collectors, but this is a little bit in the background at the moment because PV has picked up a lot. And the company is owned by a family, and they are doing the job in the 4th generation. So this is Samuel Schweitzer here. He took over 3 years ago, and his credo is the building of the future is digitally connected, energy efficient, and a solar power plant. Just to know that we have really good backup there in the company, and they are really willing to do without us a good job in the solar energy business. Yes, we have two types basically of mounting systems. On the left side, you can see the so-called MSP, mounting system photovoltaic. It's different mounting systems for flat roof and pitched roof and everything. And on the right side, you can see the Solrif module, which is basically a frame for a standard module, converting it into a large surface roof tile. And I will skip that because Andre showed it already, the installation animation. But as you can see, it's basically when you start it on the bottom, it's basically placing clamps and putting modules. So really easy, just important to know you start on the bottom to the top. So you need the interface at the bottom, and then from the right to the left. And then here we go, and really easy. You find some installation instructions or videos here on our website, www.solrif.com. And we have a customer journey there, and you can follow that. And at the section for the installation, you can find two installation videos. One is the animation that Andre showed already, and the other is a real life installation explaining a little bit, working with English subtitles. Yeah, here is a picture of the roof. And it's important to know you're doing the roof exactly like you would do it for a tile roof. So you have the rafters, you have your roofing membrane, counter battens, and then Solrif laths. The size of the lath is a little bit larger than the one for the tiles. It's 120 by 30 millimeters. You can see that in the picture on the left. And you need somehow have an interconnection between the tile lath and the Solrif lath, but that is something a roofer can do very easy. And then you start at the bottom. If you have tiles at the bottom with this eaves skirting on the bottom, you will probably know that skirting from Velux roofing windows is basically the same thing. And it's driving water from underneath the modules onto the tiles below. And you need this wood underneath to make sure that you don't have any suction or any holes there where dirt can accumulate or so on. So this wedge plant is very important. You might also start at the very bottom of the roof, and then you don't need this eave skirting anymore. You really start at the drainage of the bottom of the roof, and using the flashings that have been installed there. Yes, also Andres introduced this mounting gauge, which is a very helpful tool, because it makes installation really easy. You have those two types of clamps, the profile clamps and the glass clamps. And with this tool, you put one profile clamp, and then you can put the mounting gauge without having to hold anything. Put the number of clamps that are needed into the gauge. That's the profile clamp at the end, and it's the initial clamp for the next module. And then basically you start screwing. So with this gauge, it's really easy. The mounting itself is really easy and simple. And everything you need to know on the roof is very close to the job of roofers who are placing tiles there. Yeah, I think you can see how it works. Yeah, then like roofers do, it's very helpful sometimes to have this striking cord. Two people keep this rope, and then you smash it onto the lath, and then you have a line where you can follow during mounting. And what they are doing here on the roof is really marking every module itself. And then you can see, for example, if you have a good intersection to the chimney that you are seeing here, or to the fragmented roof here on the bottom. So such a striking cord is very helpful, and the tool, yeah, roofers are used to. Yeah, like you can see here, you can fill the roof with dummy modules, and you can cut the dummy modules. For example, here a dummy module has been cut half, and you have one part of it on the right side and the other on the left side. And you can also do corners, like you can see here. So it's very helpful to have a consistent roof cover that looks very similar when you look from the bottom. So yeah, that's also something Andres mentioned already. Yes, maybe a few words now for the design software. So it's a web tool based on the SPT, so Solar Pro tool. We call it the Solrif software. And I have done a small demo project here. It took me maybe 10-15 minutes to do a design here. Basically, you have to enter the location. I've entered a location very close to the Solrif system. I will showing an important input and output, but will not do a real software training, because I think Solrif system or SoliTek will do the layout. If we have an account for someone working with it himself, then we might do also an online training for the software. Yes, basically you define the location of the building you want to place modules onto. You're doing that via Google Maps, and I have chosen here a building very close to the stock. I think that should be the stock, hopefully. And with a few tricks, you can place here two roofs with east-west orientation with a ridge, and then placing module onto that. You can also adapt the sizes or the roof pitch or whatever here seen on the menu on the right side. And as you can, as you might already know, is the lower the pitch of the roof, the more deep pressure you have, so sucking load. So you need some more clamps for fixation normally. Yeah, then the same thing for the wind load and the snow load. As you can see, the map of Sweden is implemented into the software. So it's very easy if you know the location to choose whether it's 25, 24, or 26 meter per second of wind load. And you can also choose the terrain category, where I always recommend to do the little bit defensive. So in case you don't know exactly, better choose a lower one, not reducing the wind loads too much. It doesn't matter so much for the system, so in case stay on the safe side. And the same thing for the snow load. Here in this example, for the 1.5 region, I got the 1.2 kilonewton per square meter of snow load. So that's something, chosen with a few clicks, and then you have the load situation for your building. And with it, you can place the modules already automatically on the roof. If you might have any obstacles, you could remove any modules or shift or whatever, or redesign and tell a module you are not a module, you are a dummy module, and use it for any obstacles you might have on the roof. And you can have a preview here in Google Maps on a real building there. Yes, and this here is very important, because basically this is what you need when you're going on a construction site, every information that you really need is here on the CAD plan. And I start with the grid dimension horizontally, which is always the same if you are using the same module, but this is important because horizontally, it's a measurement that you need everywhere, again and again, and it sums up to the size of the roof. And as you can see here in this example, the size of the roof is 16 meters. And basically, it's from one flashing profile to the next flashing profile. So flashing profile from the right, the flashing profile on the left. And this size is very important when you're placing the generator and to define where you're starting with the mounting. The same thing for the vertical one. You have the 1049 millimeters of vertical grid dimension. And this also sums up to the generator's height. So it's very important to have this grid dimension in mind when you're going onto the construction site, and the size of the generator. And then also here marked in blue, you can see the profile clamps, which are placed at the intersection of the modules. So we will always have a certain number of those profile clamps. But additionally, those yellow marked clamps, which are the glass clamps, and they have to be placed for a certain statics. So, for example, you can see you need a few more clamps on the edges of the roof and a few less clamps here in the middle of the roof. As for Sweden, high wind and snow loads, here you have 3, or in the middle of the roof, only 2 of those glass clamps. So this is also very important to follow this instruction, because in case anything happens, the first thing will be checking if the sufficient number of clamps have been mounted. In this case, we have here some flashings marked with certain colors, but it's always up to you if you want to use the flashings, normally as an intersection for the tiles, or if you are doing these flashings yourself because you finish the roof at the end completely. So normally it's the page 13 in the report. You might have several roofs in one report, so it's several pages then. But this here is very important to bring onto the construction site. Yeah, then you get also a part list about how many flashings. So I included the flashings here. From the left and right and top flashings, the number of modules. I have assigned here just for fun one dummy module. So DM means dummy module. So one out of those modules here is a dummy module. And then here on the bottom, the mounting clamps and the flashing profiles. So to get this part list, and you should briefly check that you got everything before starting the installation. Yeah, then a few remarks about our website. We have this website, solrif.com, and there you, for example, have a library about connecting details. If you're not using the standard flashings, but covering the roof completely, then we have some cross sections here in the library. Those blue buttons, you can click on them, and then you get a CAD drawing of the interconnection. It's basically a proposal, but it helps a lot if a flasher on site is doing the connections. If he sees those cross sections, he knows immediately what to do, because basically the concept is really the same as for the roof tiles. Yes, and another thing is we have brochures here. On the left side, we have a so-called image brochure. It's more for the end customer, making the system and the roof and the Solrif system modules attractive. And on the right side, we have a technical brochure. That's more the thing that you need if you are planning to install or to plan with the software. the roof. So it's addressed to certain people, different. Yeah, that's basically roughly the 20 minutes that I had for my presentation. I will check, or maybe Mikkel, you can see if you have any questions.
Yes. Thanks so much, Helge, for this very good presentation. We have one question. It's regarding firefighting. With filled roof with integrated solar system, how to think about accessibility for firefighting? I understand that there are different rules for different countries, but what experience do you have? That is the question.
I mean, in terms of firefighting, if you have to switch off the PV installation. That's one thing that doesn't differ from the normal PV installations. But there are additional requirements, the so-called resistance against flying fire and radiating heat. I don't know if you have such a term in Sweden as well. The idea behind is basically if you have a fire in the neighborhood, and there's a lot of flames coming over, that your own roof is not really catching fire immediately. And there's a test for that. And this is a little bit different, but basically a similar test in certain countries. And this condition has been fulfilled with Solrif modules. So basically, hard roofing is the German and Swiss expression for that, hard roofing. So if the neighbor, if there's a fire in the neighborhood, your own roof is not catching immediately. Yeah, and then might be a third requirement in terms of fire protection when you have different sections for the fire protection. And then it's a really, individual decision whether you are able to build the PV across this protecting wall, for example, fire wall or fire resistance wall, or if you need to do an interruption, or if you need to keep a distance there. There's a lot of regulations around there, and you need to clarify that in advance with the, I think, local fire department or something like that. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, thanks. That was a good answer. Are you happy with that, Eva Lotta? Or otherwise, now at the end of the presentation, it's okay if you unmute and you say the question yourself. No. No more questions as of right now. Anyone else? She says thanks, so she's happy, and so am I with that answer. Anybody else have any questions? It seems like it was two very good presentations, very clear and precise, yet very thorough. And I thank Helge and Andres very, very much for this, for participating in this webinar and shedding more light on BIPV for the Swedish audience and installers.
Thank you very much as well for organizing the webinar. And if there are any questions, here are my contact data. I mean, normally SoliTek or Solrif System will be your first contact, but if there are any additional questions, you might also address me directly. Feel free to ask any questions.
Yep. Somebody wrote, Mangatak from Lille, Denmark. Great to see the new and very advanced solutions. More BIPV is the way to go, in my humble opinion. So somebody's very happy with more BIPV, and so are we. We do see a larger interest in BIPV, and I think it's a good way that the solar industry is moving out to more BIPV and putting them where maybe they would not otherwise be placed.
Yeah, it makes totally sense. I agree to Martin, because replacing the tiles and not having to use them is a question of costs, and also a question of ecology or gray energy, not using the tiles.
That is correct. Very, very true.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yep, go ahead, Helge.
Yeah, I think also it will be an increasing volume. I mean, basically, it's a niche for new constructions and retrofit. So if you have a working tile roof, you would most probably not replace the tiles and put in a roof integrated solution. You might put it because it's much more resistant for snow loads. We just addressed that indirectly because you really use the battens to support the modules, and you can also place additional battens. And with that, you have a really strong and long remaining installation. And with a roof parallel installation and those hooks, it's always a trouble, a pain to make them fit for high snow loads.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. No more questions, it seems like it. So once again, I say my thanks to Helge and Andres. Let's see, Andres says that he's muted. I will. Now you should be able to unmute, Andres. That is. Oh, it doesn't. Maria, do you? Can we unmute Andres in any way?
No, unfortunately, we have sent an unmute request. So
yeah, as have I. Okay, that's strange. On behalf of Andres, I'm sure that he would like to say thanks. Is there anything that you want to specifically say, Andres? You can write it in the chat and I can repeat it. Deeply sorry about that. And he says that he's wishing the best for everybody and have a great day, and thanks for participating. And I say the same. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you in a couple of weeks when I do my report from Intersolar regarding all the news that we've seen there, the future of PV I will report on, but also a little bit on the current panels and batteries and inverters that we have for sale. Go through a little bit of what we can offer you for the summer months and for the fall. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you too. And feel
All the
free to
best.
visit us on the Intersolar.
Yes.
We'll be there as well.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.